5 things that I think I really love about this movie, and why I think it's, in my personal opinion, it's a flawed but great movie. And again, my thing isn't with the critics, that it's just how much they love, that they've taken joy, that they've really, like bullies, just taken such great happiness in ripping apart these DC movies, instead of constructively criticizing them. They've just, and to me, the thing about this movie, literally, it was such a ballsy move. I told you, it was like a DC graphic novel brought to life. The editing added to that. Why aren't critics saying this? Why aren't critics saying, well, hey, you know what, for as much as I may have not really liked this movie, it's very ballsy for a summer blockbuster to play with all these themes that it had, like all these theological themes, and to have no jokes, and to take itself a little bit more seriously, and to have this kind of great action, and to have these amazing visuals. As a summer movie, I mean, that's pretty out there. And just imagine that even if this wasn't the one for you, just imagine if he had got it right, using all of the stuff he wanted to do, the philosophical aspect, the visual aspect, all of that stuff. If he had got it right, we would be talking about one of the best movies of all time. Because visually, and what it was trying to do, was so fascinating, and we should encourage that as moviegoers, rather than going back to let's all make the jokes, and Aquaman, I hear you talk to fish. We shouldn't want that. That's great for Marvel, and as I said, I enjoy that the kids enjoy that, and they can go and watch that with their parents and all of that. But how about some comic book movies for people, who are above 7 years old and aren't soccer mums, or let's have some movies for young guys, for guys in their teens, and who are a bit more kind of mature, or going through a little bit more, have a little more edge or grit to them. How about some movies for them? I just think it's very short-sighted, us criticizing a movie on being too dark. Batfleck. As I said, not my favorite Batman. These are the 5 things I'm saying. Number 2, Batfleck, not my favorite Batman of all time, but great action, coherent action. This isn't a Batman who would, like I said, like Black Widow, who's gonna try and fight Doomsday in a one-on-one fight and somehow come out as the victor, like Iron Man does with the Hulk, when we all know the Hulk, the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. So no Hulkbuster should be able to just knock him out. It's stupid. Anyway, number 3, Wonder fucking Woman. And once again, as I said, diversity. The immediately, right off the bat, you've got Cyborg, you've got the Suicide Squad with lots of ethnic characters, you've got Wonder Woman, Wonder fucking Woman, because she was an amazing Gal Gadot in this movie. Every moment she was on, she was the most comic accurate character in this movie, even more so than Lex Luthor, and just amazing. Amazing. The whole cast was amazing. The whole cast elevated the movie. I think there was Alfred. Holly Hunter hasn't been mentioned ever, and poor woman, she did a great job in this movie. Perry White, Lois Lane was very interesting in this movie, much better than she was in in Man of Steel, where it didn't even make sense why she was in that movie at all. Lex Luthor and his PhD was fantastic, as I've told you before. Great writing with Lex Luthor. If you look up some of the references he makes in the movie, it's very interesting, and he has an incredibly sinister plot. And he was literally, up until Amanda Waller came, my favorite villain of in a comic book movie of the year. And I still think this Lex Luthor. Unfortunately, people don't like his performance, and I can understand that. I can understand why, because of the twitching. Sometimes I think they're exaggerating a little, but I can understand that they maybe were looking for something else. So I wouldn't say, in the same vein as Amanda Waller, that he's the one of the top 10, say, villains in a comic book movie, but I'd certainly put him in the top 15. Anyway, stunning cinematography is number 4. I thought it was absolutely stunning, the cinematography, as you know, and the mythology and philosophy was brilliant, subtle, and the story was not spoon-fed to us. This was a ballsy movie that was either great or had some fantastic ideas in it. Either way you look at it, as I said, if you didn't like it and you're a critic, you've got to at least see that this guy was trying to make an important film, that, if it had have worked, would have changed the face of how people make comic book movies today. Really, if this had made over $1 billion and something, you would have seen Marvel start trying to be a bit more darker and take their characters a little more seriously. They would have maybe gone through their Captain America, portfolio, back list of comic books, and looked for some maybe edgier material for him, since Winter Soldier worked so well as well. So again, this was a great piece of film making, and I think it's going to be a cult classic. Probably not on the same level as Suicide Squad, but it will be a cult classic, I can assure you. And I'd like to thank you for listening to me on Batman v Superman. And the last video I'm going to do is why I think Civil War is vastly overrated. Vastly.